I guess you love movies. I do too. Hi guys, and welcome back to another video, and today is a big one. Recently I had my 20th birthday. I got a few more Blu-rays, and I realised how long ago it has been since my Blu Ray Collection videos. My full Blu Ray Collection video. I did it right at the beginning of my channel. I haven't done it since then. All I've done is Christmas pickups and additions to my collection, but I haven't talked about my entire collection as a whole for a little while now. If you have watched that first video, I've got a significant amount more Blu-rays since then. If you've continued to watch all of my pickup videos, you'll probably realise I have quite a lot now. So I'm not going to hang around too long talking about them because there's so many of them. If I did, it would take so long to get through this video. I'm going to do this cut into sections so you can see me. The video's going to shift around a little bit because we're going to have to get Blu-rays out, bring them back out, because there's a hell of a lot to get through. So let's get into them right about now. So first on my Blu-ray collection is 8½, a masterpiece in my opinion by Federico Fellini. The only Fellini I own, the only Fellini that I've currently seen. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And the next one is 12 Angry Men, another masterpiece, a brilliant film from the 1950s, obviously Sidney Lumet's debut and a great film. 12 Years a Slave, one of my favourite movies of the 2010s thus far. 2001 A Space Odyssey, one of my favourite movies of all time, talked about it a lot, did a whole video dedicated to it on my favourite movies series. Airplane, one of my favourite comedies of all time, such an incredible movie, hilarious, so many jokes you miss and it's so good. Aladdin, one of my favourite animated films, watched it so many times, so entertaining, brilliant animation on Blu-ray. I've got an Alfred Hitchcock collection here. Got many Alfred Hitchcock movies. This one includes Dial M for Murder, Strangers on a Train, and North by Northwest. Love all of them. The order, if I had to pick, would probably be North by Northwest, North by Northwest, Strangers on a Train, and Dial M for Murder. They're all great though. The first of the great series that is Alien. Yeah, I love Alien. Brilliant film, great and suspenseful. Ridley Scott, awesome movie. James Cameron obviously made the sequel, Aliens, which I personally prefer, which I think is a great movie, a brilliant film. We've got a David O. Russell movie now, American Hustle, very good, picked this up for a very good price. I literally found this in Poundland, ridiculous. Annie Hall is one of my favourite romantic comedies, and this one is just amazing, probably my favourite Woody Allen so far. The Apartment, another one of my favourite romantic comedies of all time, an absolutely brilliant film. Again, a brilliant Billy Wilder movie. Apocalypse Now is one of my all-time favourite movies from Francis Ford Coppola. This is an epic and masterpiece, most definitely. Argo is a fantastic movie from, I think it was this 2012, yep, great film. Ben Affleck directed, one of my favourite movies from him, very suspenseful and very entertaining. Avatar is a visually stunning movie. Yeah, it's flawed, but I really enjoy watching it on Blu-ray. The first Avengers movie, definitely in my opinion still the best one, very entertaining, very enjoyable. One of my favourite modern horror films is this one, The Babadook, a fantastic movie, brilliant performances and just incredibly, incredibly chilling. Baby Driver, I really enjoyed watching this movie in theatres, and it's a fantastic movie to watch on Blu-ray, great soundtrack, really enjoy this movie a lot. I'm an absolutely huge fan of the first Back to the Future movies, one of my favourite movies of all time. It's just one of my happy places. I do enjoy the other two movies, but the first one is on another level for me. Barry Lyndon, I recently picked up and recently watched, and I absolutely loved it. I'm a massive Kubrick fan. This is another masterpiece from him. And Big Hero 6, another great animated film. Haven't watched it for a little while. Probably should rewatch it at some point. And I'll be back with some more Blu-rays. I'm back. Blade Runner, one of my favourite movies of all time. Again, a brilliant science fiction film. Talked about it again in one of my favourite movies videos. And its sequel, also a masterpiece. Have a review on my channel of it as well. Absolutely adore it. Huge Blade Runner fan and of sci-fi in general. Boogie Nights, great film by PTA. Really enjoy his work. I think he's a fantastic director, and this movie is definitely one of my favourites from him. Casablanca is just an absolutely timeless classic, and I watch it very often, and I think it's just one of those movies, just a time capsule, and I enjoy it massively, one of my all-time faves. Casino Royale is definitely one of my favourite Bond movies. Daniel Craig is one of my favourite Bonds, and this is a fantastic movie, very entertaining, and definitely reimagined Bond for the 21st century. Cat on a Hot Tin Roof is a very underrated classic in my personal opinion. Got it on Premium Collection Blu-ray from HMV. This is a fantastic movie with great performances, specifically from Paul Newman, who is magnificent in this. Chinatown is a neo-noir masterpiece, probably my favourite Polanski. Love Jack Nicholson and Faye Dunaway as actor and actress, and they are fantastic in this movie. One of my favourite movies about childhood and about cinema in general is Cinema Paradiso, a fantastic Italian film, so nostalgic and has one of the most affecting endings I've ever seen. And again, one of my all-time favourite movies, and that is Citizen Kane. I've watched this movie about 6 times at this point. I'm giving it a little break at the moment, but it is one of the greatest films ever made, and most definitely the greatest debut that has ever been seen in cinema. Another movie that I personally adore, and that is City of God, a fantastic Brazilian film about the Brazilian slums and the crime that goes on there. And it is a fantastic ensemble and so imaginatively edited that I adore it. One of my first Spielbergs to be talked about in this collection is Close Encounters of the Third Kind, an absolutely top-notch movie with some incredible moments and a brilliant score. Francis Ford Coppola's The Conversation, fantastic performance by Gene Hackman, and a very suspenseful and slow-building thriller. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, a masterful martial arts movie, beautiful looking with some incredible action sequences. I truly adore this movie. One of my favourite all-time trilogies, and that is the Dark Knight trilogy. My favourite being the Dark Knight. Batman Begins is obviously very good, and Dark Knight Rises is deeply flawed, but I still kind of enjoy it. The Dark Knight, however, is one of my all-time favourite films. Deadpool, another superhero movie, but a different change of pace. This is a hilarious, loudmouth movie, and I really enjoy Ryan Reynolds as this character, and think that the second one's good, but this one personally my favourite. Throwing Blu-rays around. The Departed, obviously another Scorsese film I really enjoy. Great performances from the whole cast, really enjoyed this one. The Descendants, from one of my favourite and most underrated directors, that being Alexander Payne. George Clooney's fantastic in this. The whole Die Hard trilogy, my favourite being the first, really need to rewatch it again. Fantastic set of movies. The second one's okay, the third one's actually very good, the fourth one I haven't watched in ages, but it was actually the first one I ever watched. Django Unchained, a fantastic Tarantino film. Leonardo DiCaprio's excellent in this one. Really enjoy this movie overall. One of my favourite film noirs of all time being Double Indemnity, another Billy Wilder, and a fantastic performance by Barbara Stanwyck and Fred MacMurray. This is an excellent, excellent movie. And one of the best movies of recent years and of the 2010s, and that is Drive, Nicholas Winding Refn's masterpiece, and a fantastic movie debut. And I'll be back again. And I'm back again. And one of my favourite Bond movies, one of the first I believe that I ever watched. My dad introduced me to Sean Connery, and Dr. No is currently the only one I own. Really want to get Goldfinger and From Russia with Love, just haven't gotten around to him yet. My favourite comedies of all time, that is Dr. Strangelove, another Kubrick movie, a masterpiece and a brilliant cast. Peter Sellers is literally a genius. Another Nolan movie now, one that I watched obviously last year, and that is Dunkirk, a very, very good movie. Yet to watch it again on Blu-ray, but I'm definitely looking forward to checking it out. Fantastic drama, technically a sci-fi movie from the 2000s with brilliant performances, and that is Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. Very much enjoyed that as well. Possibly my favourite ever Spielberg, and that is E.T. Just a childhood favourite, movie that always moves me, always makes me cry. This is a fabulous, fabulous movie. Great science fiction from Ex Machina, I really enjoyed this one. Fantastic movie with great performances, and of course very, very beautiful looking movie. And really, obviously Annihilation, Natalie Portman, same director, very good movie. One of my first Wes Anderson in this collection, and that is fantastic Mr. Fox, very good movie. One of my favourite Coens, and that's Fargo, also made the TV series, but I personally prefer the film, very, very good. A movie that a lot of people personally adore and think is one of the greatest films of all time. I very much enjoy it. I do believe that Fight Club isn't quite the best movie that Fincher's ever made. Very good film, not a masterpiece though in my opinion. Great Pixar movie here, and that's Finding Nemo. Finding Dory was okay, it was pretty good, but this is a lot better. Very, very good Pixar film. A movie that I enjoy, but slowly become to realise that it's good but not great, and that's Gladiator. I do enjoy this movie, got good performance from Russell Crowe, it's got some great moments in it, really enjoy it though. One of my favourite trilogies in the history of cinema, and that is the Godfather trilogy. Of course, it is blighted by the third film, which is nowhere near a masterpiece, but the first two films, as you know if you know me, I believe are two of the greatest films of all time, and are my favourite films of all time. Another Fincher here, and that is Gone Girl. A good movie, it is flawed, but I do enjoy the mystery and think it's got great performances, specifically from Rosamund Pike. One of my favourite gangster films of all time, and from one of my favourite directors, and that is Goodfellas. Brilliant movie, fantastic performances, specifically from Ray Liotta, who gets no credit considering Joe Pesci seems to get all the attention. One of my favourite comedies from Robin Williams, and a great looking steelbook, and that is Good Morning Vietnam. Another Wes Anderson, my personal favourite, that's the Grand Budapest Hotel. Brilliant movies from John Ford, fantastic drama with great performances, and that is The Grapes of Wrath. Great looking movie from Alfonso Cuarón, that is Gravity. One of my favourite Marvel movies, so entertaining, a great ensemble cast, really fun, that's Guardians of the Galaxy. One of my favourite romantic comedies once again, and I do love Bill Murray, it's obviously Groundhog Day. Another Quentin Tarantino movie here, not one of his best, but still good, and that is The Hateful Eight. A brilliant and underrated samurai film that if you have not seen, I would definitely check it out, and that is Harakiri by Masaki Kobayashi. You didn't see that, I nearly dropped it, you didn't see. That is Heat, and that is Michael Mann, and a fantastic movie, my favourite from him, and one of my favourite heist movies of all time, if not my favourite. One of my favourite comedies ever, and my favourite Howard Hawks, and that is His Girl Friday, fantastic movie, and one of my first Criterion Blu-rays, actually the first I ever picked up. If you want to check that video out, check it out. Another one of my favourite comedies, more modern this time, and that is Hot Fuzz, one of my favourite Edgar Wright movies. It is my favourite Edgar Wright movie, love it. Another one of the Criterion movies that I own, and that is In a Lonely Place. Brilliant noir, Humphrey Bogart's amazing, yet to see it on Blu-ray, really looking forward to that. Great movie from Michael McDonough here, and that's In Bruges, a dark comedy with a great examination of guilt, and I really enjoyed this movie a hell of a lot. Inception is one of my favourite Nolans, and an exceptional movie, very intelligent with a great score, really enjoy it a lot. One of my favourite Pixar movies, obviously the second one came out recently, but I love the original, and that is The Incredibles. Great series of films here, definitely blighted by its final film, and that is the Indiana Jones collection. I love the first one. Raiders of the Lost Ark's one of my favourite films of all time. Temple of Doom is good, but it's got one of the most annoying characters I've ever seen in it with Willie. I think that Last Crusade's actually very good. Unfortunately, The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull isn't great. Another Tarantino movie, and my second favourite, and that is Inglourious Basterds. Great performances all round, and a fantastically entertaining movie. Another intelligent and exceptional Pixar, and that is Inside Out. Another Nolan, a good one but not a great one, definitely is flawed in my opinion, and that is Interstellar. And my favourite Marvel movie thus far, and still, even though it was the first, and that is the original Iron Man. And again, I'll be back in just a second. Here we go again. Another one of my favourite modern horror films, and that is It Follows. One of my favourite movies of the 1940s, and a brilliant performance by James Stewart, is It's a Wonderful Life. Speaking. Jaws is one of my favourite Spielberg movies, a fantastic movie with incredible scenes, especially that Scar scene. Oh my god, brilliant. And another Spielberg, and one that was incredibly important in my childhood, and that is Jurassic Park, the original one. And you know my thoughts on the latest. It's gone downhill, I know. LA Confidential is one of my favourite neo-noirs, and one of my favourite movies of the 90s. Fantastic. My favourite movies of recent years, definitely one of my favourite musicals. That's La La Land. A very underrated and great film from the 70s, and a debut for Peter Bogdanovich, and that is, actually it isn't his debut, but whatever. The Last Picture Show. Fantastic. Another Ozu here. I watched it last night. It's good. It's not quite as great as another one that I will show you later on in this video, but very good. Late Spring. One of my all-time favourite movies, and that is Lawrence of Arabia, an incredible epic with unbelievable cinematography and performances. This one is a must-see for film lovers. Another one of my favourite animated films, The Lion King. Very good. Never gets tired of it. Even if it is literally Hamlet, who cares? A brilliant movie from the 2000s and one of my favourites, and that is Lost in Translation. One of my favourite action movies of all time and definitely of recent years, and that is Mad Max Fury Road. One of my all-time favourite movies from PTA, second only to There Will Be Blood, and that is Magnolia. A brilliant noir here, and what really the movie that made Humphrey Bogart, and that is The Maltese Falcon. Again, another one of my favourite movies from recent years, and definitely my favourite movie of 2016, and that would be Manchester by the Sea. One of my favourite westerns of all time now, and that is The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, another great John Ford movie. Great movie here from Ridley Scott, probably one of the best ones he's made recently, and that is The Martian, starring Matt Damon. One of my favourite movies as a child, and still a movie that I love to this day, and that is The Matrix, the original one. I also have Matrix Reloaded. I can't get rid of it. I bought it originally thinking I liked it more than I did, and I don't want it anymore, but I still had it. And a brilliant trilogy of westerns, and that is the Man with No Name trilogy. The Good, the Bad and the Ugly is one of my all-time favourites. The other two are very good as well, but definitely enjoy The Good, the Bad and the Ugly the most. Again, I'll be back. This is a marathon. And one of my favourite Scorsese films, one of his best from his early days, and that is Mean Streets. Fantastic performances, and De Niro was born in this movie. Fabulous. Another Nolan, not one of my favourites, however it is still fantastic, and that is Memento. Such an incredibly inventive film, very enjoyable. First silent film that I'll be talking about here, and probably the only one actually so far, and that is the brilliant German expressionist science fiction masterpiece that is Metropolis. Another sort of arty sort of film now, and the first Tarkovsky that I'm going to be talking about in my collection, and that is The Mirror, or Mirror, either one you want to call it. It's just an incredible movie, cryptic poem, and really just one of the most inventive films in all of cinema. And something now completely different, and that is Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, an excellent and entertaining blockbuster, exactly what you want from the blockbusters, and I also have Rogue Nation right about here. One of my favourite comedies of all time, and that is Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Just stupid and hilarious and brilliant, and it's just a genius movie, and I adore it. Also love Life of Brian. Not quite as funny in my opinion, but it's still fantastic. A scary and psychological film noir that I truly adore and really want to watch it again, and that is The Night of the Hunter with Robert Mitchum in incredible and terrifying form. One of my all-time favourite films of the 2000s, right up there with The Dark Knight. This is No Country for Old Men, and definitely my favourite Coens. This is an awesome movie. One of my all-time favourite westerns, and a brilliant movie from Sergio Leone, and that is Once Upon a Time in the West. Now we have one of my favourite Elia Kazan movies, and that is On the Waterfront. Obviously Marlon Brando, brilliant in this film, a very, very affecting drama. Another great movie here, this is Pan's Labyrinth, one of my favourite movies of the 2000s once again. Such an inventive film, such a great story about war, but also about fantasy, and it's such an incredibly inventive one. Great movie from Guillermo del Toro. Another Kubrick here, we have a theme. Paths of Glory, still haven't watched it on Blu Ray yet, recently picked it up. If you follow me on Instagram you will know that. However, it's a fantastic war movie and a great, great moral story about the problems faced in war. One of my favourite classic animated films, and that is Pinocchio. It's my favourite classic Disney. I think it's just perfect, and I really love it a lot. Another Nolan here, and that is The Prestige, a very, very affecting movie, a movie with so many twists and turns, one that I really enjoy a lot. Probably the most famous movie by Alfred Hitchcock, and that is Psycho. A masterpiece on so many levels. Birmingham's score is iconic. Anthony Perkins is magnificent. This is a great, great film. Talked about Inglourious Basterds being my second favourite Quentin Tarantino earlier. This is my favourite. Pulp Fiction, a masterpiece. Just an incredible movie. Brilliant dark comedy. You can see all of his influences in this movie. Truly magnificent. Another one of my favourite Scorsese's is Raging Bull, a brilliant performance by De Niro, and just one of the greatest movies about jealousy ever made. Fantastic. I'm a mad fan of Kurosawa, and you have not seen any of those movies yet, but the first one is Ran, and I adore this movie, one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen, incredible performances, and truly just a magnificent epic. From no Kurosawa to two Kurosawas, and that is Rashomon, a great movie about the moral ambiguity of humanity, the lies and the deceit. This is a fantastic one. Another great Pixar here, and that is Ratatouille. And we're nearly there, kinda. We've got some very big stacks here. You probably can't see them, but they're massive. Now, on to the next one. So, we have one of my favourite Hitchcocks now, and a masterpiece, most definitely. The Meaning of Suspense is Rear Window. Absolutely adore that one. Brilliant movie from Alejandro Iñárritu. Now, I really want to pick up Birdman, but this is my favourite of his so far, and that is The Revenant. Another great Spielberg. This is a fantastic war movie, and that is Saving Private Ryan. I've got a whole samurai collection here from Akira Kurosawa. I've seen most of them. I haven't seen Sanjuro yet, but I have seen Throne of Blood, The Hidden Fortress, Yojimbo. They're all very good, very much enjoyable. One of my all-time favourite heist movies, and a brilliant French film, and that is Rafifi. And another Tarantino here, very good movie, very talky, but really enjoyable, and that's Reservoir Dogs. Another Spielberg, one of my favourites, one that I don't watch too often, but is definitely one of his best films, and that is Schindler's List. My favourite Western of all time, and my favourite John Ford, and that is The Searchers. One of my all-time favourite Kurosawa movies, and an absolutely brilliant masterpiece with every single thing you would want to love in a movie, and that is Seven Samurai, and it's a beautiful, beautiful steelbook. My favourite Fincher is Seven, and I adore this movie. Fantastic, grisly, gritty thriller, brilliant. Another Edgar Wright movie here, and that is Shaun of the Dead. Fantastic, dark comedy, also a drama at times. A great movie from the 90s, and that's The Shawshank Redemption. Possibly slightly overrated, but it's still pretty goddamn great. My favourite horror movie of all time, and that is Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. Great movie from Alexander Payne, my personal favourite from him, and that is Sideways. Watched it the other night, fantastic. My favourite musical of all time, and such an incredibly joyful experience, and that is Singing in the Rain. Oh god, he's so good in this movie. Hannibal Lecter, Silence of the Lambs. Another great Daniel Craig Bond movie here, Skyfall, Roger Deakins cinematography. Oh my god. We've got the Spider-Mans, the first and the second Raimi, no third because it's awful. One of my favourite animated films of all time, and that is Spirited Away. What a great movie by Miyazaki, what a god. My second favourite Fincher, The Social Network, one of the best movies of the 2010s. Such a magnificent landmark in modern cinema. One of my favourite comedies, and another great Billy Wilder, and that's Some Like It Hot. Another great Western here, and another great John Ford movie, and that is Stagecoach. The second Tarkovsky, my favourite Tarkovsky, and that is Stalker. Brilliant movie, incredible coming of age story, and always makes me cry. That's Stand By Me. I love Star Wars, as you can see from the background over here, but my favourites have got to be from the original trilogy, which I recently picked up. Obviously, Empire Strikes Back is the best, it's amazing, New Hope is awesome, Return of the Jedi, slightly flawed, but I still love it. And from the newest trilogy, and the only one I currently own on Blu-ray, and that is The Force Awakens, which is way too underrated and is an absolute goddamn blast. Now, we've also got another Elia Kazan here, and that is A Streetcar Named Desire. It's possibly my favourite, not sure if I like it more than On the Waterfront, but Brando is magnificent. One of my all-time favourite noirs, and my favourite Billy Wilder, and that is Sunset Boulevard. What a performance. One of my favourite movies of all time, one that I've talked about many times, and is probably one of the longest videos I've ever made, other than this one, is Taxi Driver. Oh my god, cinema can't get much better than this. The first Terminator, very, very good. The second one, even better though. One of my favourite movies of the 2000s, and one of my all-time favourite movies actually, and that is There Will Be Blood. My favourite Paul Thomas Anderson. Truly brilliant. We've got another top 10 contender right here. Top 10 contender, it is in my top 10, and that is my favourite noir ever, The Third Man. Oh my god, it's amazing cinematography, It's just, oh, so good. Talked about it earlier when I talked about Late Spring. That's Tokyo Story. Oh my god, masterpiece. Such an incredible, intimate slice of life. Absolutely adore it. Another great noir here, and that's Orson Welles' Touch of Evil. Brilliant performance from Welles himself, and a very, very good movie overall. One of my favourite trilogies of all time, as I've said many times, and that is Toy Story. The three movies, I adore all of them. The first one has an incredible place in my heart, and it is my favourite animated film of all time. But all of them are fantastic. Another Humphrey Bogart movie, and that is The Treasure of Sierra Madre, which has the best performance of his entire career. It's magnificent. A great movie and a great performance from Jim Carrey. Really enjoyed The Truman Show. Possibly my favourite Pixar movie outside the Toy Story movies is this, and that is Up. My favourite Hitchcock of all time, and probably in that small group of movies that I consider to be some of the greatest that have ever been made, and that is Vertigo. Another great Pixar here, WALL-E. My favourite movie of the 2010 so far, and possibly the greatest theatre experience of my entire life, and that is Whiplash. Another great Scorsese, completely excessive in every way, but Leonardo DiCaprio loves every minute of it. It's The Wolf of Wall Street. Probably my favourite X-Men movie, and that is X-Men Days of Future Past. Maybe except Logan, which I might get at some point. Definitely my favourite movie from Catherine Bigelow, and that is Zero Dark 30, an affecting movie with a great performance by Jessica Chastain. Another great Fincher movie, one that got me obsessed with the Zodiac case, and that is Zodiac. And the last movie in my collection is one of the better animated films of recent years, one that I haven't watched recently, but it's very, very good, and that is Zootropolis. Guys, we got there, we got to the end, we got through all the Blu-rays. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It will be very, very long. I'm very, very tired, I'm sweating, I forgot to open the window, I'm literally dying of heat exhaustion, but we got there. We got to the end of the video, and hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did, like, subscribe, drop your comments down in the section below. What is your Blu Ray collection looking like? How many do you have? I don't know how many I have. I haven't had time to count. I might count now. I don't know. I'm too tired. But hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Goodbye.